Minimum wage. Can you go?
Totally against it.
What do you
100%.
mean you're against the minimum wage?
Yeah.
As in, it should be raised.
No minimum wage.
No minimum
No
wage.
minimum wage.
You could literally pay someone $2 to
Pay
work.
them, you can pay them nothing. You know, we don't have child labour in Australia anymore. We don't need the unions to the extent that we do. Sure, collective bargaining makes sense, but the fact that it's become so entrenched and it's mandatory that you have to be a part of a union, and then these unions directly back one party or another. I mean, what the hell are we doing? This country is completely bought and paid for, and the establishment is entrenching their power, whether it's the Liberals, whether it's Labor, and they back each other. They gang up against the minor parties. They make it harder for them. I mean, it's, we're on knife's edge.
Before we move on from this topic, you said just before you're against... Just before, because once you said hex, I was like, yeah, well, I hate that too.
But the minimum wage.
The minimum wage.
Totally against
Can you
it.
go?
Totally against it.
What do you
100%.
mean you're against the minimum wage?
Yeah.
As in, it should be raised?
No minimum wage.
No minimum
No
wage.
minimum wage.
As in, like, you could literally pay someone $2 to
Pay
work.
them, you can pay them nothing.
You can pay them.
You can pay them nothing.
Or you sort of that's called internship.
Yeah, internship. Yeah, no, literally. Like, you're either an intern or you're paid anything up from zero. That's how it should be. As an employer, you need to be able to extract a certain amount of value from someone. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're working at Macca's for $5 an hour, which it used to be once upon a time, it used to be even lower. If you're working for that,
but it was valued at that.
It was valued at that,
yeah.
but it was not. It was done by teenagers. It was not meant to be done by an adult that's trying to feed 3 kids.
Yeah,
And this is the problem. When you raise it, it stops the younger one from getting into the workforce because you can't get, $15 an hour value out of them. They're just not. They're not going to give you that. And so it creates less jobs. It's a big cudgel on the economy. It doesn't help. But what's meant to happen is people are meant to have an entry-level job like that. I love, ganging up on Macca's, but they need an entry job like that to give them skills.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. Once upon a time, I think it was the 60s, listen to Peter Schiff. He completely debunks the minimum wage. He completely changed my mind on it. I used to be a subscriber of the minimum wage.
Yeah.
I supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. He said, we need to raise the minimum wage from $10 to $15. Hillary Clinton said we need $12.5 dollars per hour. And this is the thing, I moved on it because Peter Schiff, he gave this other example. He said, when you look at the gas pump, the cars in the 60s and the 50s were the best kept cars because when you'd go to the gas pump, there would be a kid there that would be waiting to pump your gas, basically. So you wouldn't get out of the car. You'd pump your gas, you pay him, you tip him. And that kid, it was an entry-level job. He wasn't paid much, but it taught him to be on time. It taught him to have a certain way about him. Those kids ended up going on to learning and often becoming the mechanics that also worked there. They checked the oil while you were there. That's why the cars were so well kept back then. And those kids, they had a career path as a result. And when you have that, go on to own to become the mechanic there because you're working under someone, like an apprenticeship naturally, become the mechanic, go get your own place, eventually have your own pump,
So you're saying minimum wage is currently, it destroys all of these developmental position that, creates character in these young youths.
100%. 100%. There used to be boys that would go and they'd take you to your seat in the cinema. Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than going and doing graffiti in the street, they're actually doing something of value. They're interacting. They're learning interpersonal skills. They have to show up on time. They get paid something, so that they can own it. They can save up. They become fiscally responsible. Whereas off-putting that process from 12, because it was from 12 often this would happen, kids would be employed, up until 18. Now you can start doing it. I mean, that's... Guys, no wonder, the founders of America, like Hamilton, were 25 when they wrote the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July.
So no minimum wage.
Yeah, man. He was younger than us.
Yeah.
Are you ready to write the Declaration of Independence?